Right, we're recording now. So welcome everyone to the Edmonton Meetup group. My name is Jimmy, a strategic advisor with MuleSoft Customer Success Strategy and Architecture team. I'm also the Meetup group leader for Edmonton and Calgary MuleSoft Meetup groups. We have started those groups like few months back, and I think we're doing great so far. We have a couple of meetups already scheduled, and we're getting good feedback from our customers and partners who are joining. Today we have a very interesting topic for discussion. It's MuleSoft Catalyst and Accelerator for banking. The topic is prepared and presented by Incepta Solutions. Incepta Solutions has been a partner for MuleSoft for a few years now, and they help us a lot in organizing our virtual meetup in Alberta. So thank you, guys. Andrew Lee, the marketing manager at Incepta Solution, will be the moderator for the session today. He will take us through the meetup agenda and logistics. I'll switch over to him in a minute, but first let me go through the safe harbor statement very quick. So in today's session, we may talk about future-looking products and services, and because those future-looking statements are inherently subject to risk and uncertainty, our reminder for you guys is that you should make any purchasing or investment decisions based on products that are currently commercially available. Now, and I think now that's pretty much it on my side. I'll switch over to Andrew to introduce himself, and Sunil, the main speaker for the meetup today. Andrew?
Perfect. Thank you, Jimmy. And I wanted to just start off by saying thank you for the opportunity to have Incepta participate in the MuleSoft meetups, as well as to share insights with the community, with our ecosystem here. All right, everyone. So again, welcome and thank you for joining us. For those who have just joined us now, we are live. So this is a meetup session where we would like to open up the space as one community. So we have a chat box on the right side. Now, a quick agenda just to go through what would be discussed today. So first of all, right after this slide, we'll be going through some of the meeting logistics of what you can expect through the meetup session for today. And then I would be introducing our integration developer at Incepta Solutions, Mr. Sunil himself, and the following items would be discussed. So first of all, we would be extrapolating on the journey towards digital transformation, followed by digital transformation in banking. And then we'll do a dive deep in terms of API-led connectivity. And then next, we'll discuss MuleSoft Catalyst, the Catalyst Accelerator for banking. And then we'll also discuss some of the APIs and policies for Accelerator for banking. And then last but not least, we will be presenting a case study that would be discussing the open banking strategy implementation. And that's in terms of the technical elements for today's session. Next, we do have a Q&A, so feel free to use the chat box to include any questions that you might have. And then followed after the Q&A, we will have a wrap-up and announcement of trivia winners. So as we proceed to the next slide, we will be discussing the meeting logistics for today. So first of all, the session is recorded, and there will be a copy that is sent to the registrants following the event. Attendees are placed on mute upon entry, so you should be able to hear the speakers, the presenters, and the host for today. Next, as I mentioned, feel free to post your questions in the chat, and we'll be able to answer them at the very end of the session. Next, there will be 3 trivia questions between each segment, and we will announce the winners at the conclusion of our session for today. So there will be instructions provided as well before each trivia question that would determine valid participation for entry. And last but not least, I'm sure we're all wondering, there will be a prize as well. So each winner will get a voucher for a free MuleSoft course. So that's in terms of the meeting logistics for today. Sunil, I'll let you take the floor.
Thank you, Andrew. First of all, thanks everyone for your valuable time here. I hope you're all doing well in adapting to the new normal. My name is Sunil Jagannathan. I'm an integrations developer at Incepta Solutions, and I currently work as a MuleSoft consultant for Alberta Gaming, Liquor, and Cannabis at Edmonton. I have over 6 years of experience in middleware integration platform, and I switched to the MuleSoft side of the technology a couple years ago. I'd like to thank Jimmy for the opportunity today, and I'm super excited to do the presentation on MuleSoft Catalyst Accelerator. Hopefully you all will get some value out of the session. Today, I'll be talking about the unique and proven approach of MuleSoft in achieving the digital transformation to keep up with the new and evolving business demands. So, we are all living here at times of unprecedented global change right now. Every organization across every industry is impacted by this change. For instance, the retail industry is rethinking the importance of the brick and mortar model. The healthcare industry, it's at its prime with heavy demands for virtual healthcare. And of course, our industry of discussion today, banking, is moving more towards virtual banking because of limited branch access and sanitation concerns. All these organizations want to act now and develop new strategies to build businesses that stand the test of time. Time was limited when restrictions were in place for us, and companies needed to be responsive in quickly processing and integrating data across multiple components to deliver time critical projects. For example, we can say the healthcare industry had to quickly build solutions for virtual doctor visits because it was not the case before. And the retail industry had to respond to sudden surge of online orders. Everyone's going with Uber Eats and Amazon deliveries more during the lockdown period. And these changes had to be implemented in a very minimal time. And the IT leaders face challenges in building a resilient business model that easily adapts to changes and evolves for a better future. But looking at a few success stories, they believe going digital is crucial here. We have to target increased agility, efficiency, as well as speed. One example to quote is the evolution of Netflix. You all might have known about Blockbuster, one of the large chain of movie rental, movie rental company in US, and Netflix won over its competitor Blockbuster with its business strategy and technological ability. So not just Netflix, we have success stories of Google and Amazon, which teach us the impacts of digital transformation in business. But this transformation is not a very easy task for organizations. Most organizations today, they use legacy applications and infrastructure. These applications have a hard time comprehending and reacting to the pace of change accelerating in the industry. They need to adapt to massively complex integration solutions and newer regulatory requirements. The customer data in a typical organization is mostly available in the CRM and ERP systems, and these data and processes are highly fragmented, and these data are siloed across lines of businesses into different systems that do not even talk to each other, and they lack providing a connected experience. Among these challenges comes the traditional integration approaches that struggle to keep up with the demands of the evolving business requirements. We happen to write custom code in such scenarios. We write custom code which can easily break, and we spend more time fixing the custom code, and this custom code uh, limit the contribution to new innovations and enhancing business processes. So, how exactly can we achieve the digital transformation, and how can the success demonstrated by organizations like Netflix, Google, and Amazon show way for financial services industry? Let's look deeper into the disruption that demands the transformation in banking. So, disruptions in financial services industry persist much before the COVID crisis. Let's look at the three critical trends that are extremely important today, which impact financial services the most. First and foremost is our customer behavior is changing. Today, banking customers insist on an on-demand delivery of any services that they take from the bank, and whatever point of interaction they choose, either through a mobile app or an online portal, the bank has to reach to their customer. It's very essential for the banks to reach the customers wherever they are. On top of this, we also see competitive landscapes changing drastically. The players in the finance industries have been seen emerge in unexpected ways during the pandemic to meet the customer needs. Customers are trading in their loyalty to established banks for the convenience provided by fintech startups. So these numerous emerging fintech startups are now pushing big firms closer to the edge of being innovative. And finally, the regulatory and security landscapes are continually evolving, and it's evolving at a very faster pace. One of the customers of MuleSoft, SunTrust, has reported that regulatory requirements change every 12 minutes for them. Both customers and regulators are demanding for transparency and trust on top of convenient experiences. With the workflow now distributed geographically because of the pandemic, people are working from home, the risks involved with security increases mostly. Most of the investments in digital transformation initiatives are across five distinctive buckets, and these five distinctive buckets uh, they look more like a maturity model, starting from core modernization to single customer view, and then digital first experience for the customer, having a digitized and connected processes, and finally going to an open banking strategy. Let's look at these five items in detail. Regardless of the type of banking institution, it is important to start with the core systems. Those are major drivers, be it policy administration or portfolio management or core banking. It's essential to decompose these core systems into services to be reused across different lines of businesses and across different channels. This will drive the institution to achieve the expected business outcome in the more sophisticated use cases below, like single customer view for personalized product offers, and creating a digital first experience, allowing customers to do anything from make a transaction or to deposit a check, or let's say report a lost credit card and this can be done from a mobile application or an online web portal. And then digitizing and connecting these online experiences through the mid and back office. And it takes a village to serve banking customers from front end, mid office, back office, and many other people working together. And it was usually hard to process loans and approve transactions, but now when we achieve digitized and connected processes, we can process these loans and approve the transactions digitally without any interruption. Last but not the least, revenue opportunities can be created if the institution can tackle digital transformation initiatives by creating an ecosystem. And how can we create an ecosystem? It can be done with open banking and banking as a service platforms. And banks can be more competitive and generate more revenue when they open up for partners to join in serving the customers. Uh, Now I'd let Andrew take center stage. He has something exciting for us.
Thank you, Sunil. All right, now who's ready for our first trivia question? But wait, before we start typing away, there are two rules to follow. Rule number one, please ensure that you provide one answer in the chat after we have stated the question and all of the options, and after Jimmy types go now in the chat box. And then rule number two, you can type A, B, C, D in the chat section so you don't have to put the entire answer. Okay, are you all ready? Let's see what the first trivia question is. All right, so trivia question number one. Here we go. As reported by SunTrust, and again, remember to ensure that you are putting your answer after we have already said all of the options and after Jimmy has said go, okay? So as reported by SunTrust, one of MuleSoft partners, how often do regulatory changes occur on average within the financial services industry? Is it A, once in 12 minutes, B, once in 21 hours, C, once in 21 minutes, or D, once in 12 days? Okay, how are we looking, Jimmy?
Perfect. Let's move on.
Awesome. Great, perfect. All right, let's proceed. So Sunil, back to you.
Thank you, Andrew. Coming back to digital transformation, let's continue from where we left. As the IT world evolves itself, making progress towards the digital transformation, we encounter a scenario where the divide between old and new business processes widens. Thus, this will disrupt the connectivity between the legacy applications and the newer mobile and cloud applications. The connectivity becomes harder and harder when the compatibilities bridging apart. And how can we bridge this divide? Yeah, you guessed it right. You find it right here on the screen. It's API led connectivity. With an API first digital transformation, we can connect legacy applications with new cloud and mobile applications. APIs let the applications to adapt to support new business processes, and this enables extensive and complex integration between digital business applications with the legacy applications powered by real-time data. And APIs can be managed, they can be monitored properly, secured, reported, and thus we have complete control over the organization's most important asset, the data. This connected experience provided by integrating the APIs enables the organization to be more resilient for future change, and it can be done faster than ever. The easily discoverable and reusable APIs enable the organizational agility and innovation capabilities. In the finance industry, a gold mine of data is available in legacy and on-premise systems. APIs can be built to access these, and APIs can also consume the services provided by newer cloud-based systems. And so we can bridge the gap between the old and modern applications when we create APIs that can expose the data in the application. But is that all it takes? Merely adapting an API based integration cannot meet our objective of creating a digital banking platform. The speed of integration is a key factor in digital transformation. And besides providing a connected experience, it's important that the customers feel the speed. If everything has to be quick, they can't wait. And we need a new operating model that can decompose the core systems in the banking institution into smaller reusable building blocks that are the APIs. Additionally, we also need this new model to bundle and package these APIs into a digital platform. The three-tiered architecture is MuleSoft's approach to creating such a composite platform using the system, process, and experience layers, or should I say, data, services, and products instead. The system API abstracts the data and functionalities away from the core systems. They ensure that the provided data aligns with our enterprise model. And the process APIs are constructed as services offered by these organizations. They draw data from the system API and processes them. The process APIs simplify and automate workflow to create a more composite application. Finally, the experience APIs are the products that deliver the output generated by system and process API working together to the appropriate channel and to engage the right stakeholder. Now we figured out that technology behind building a digital we figured out the technology behind building a digital platform, but how do we meet this objective, and what is the approach towards it? And MuleSoft has an answer, and MuleSoft Catalyst is what they say. So today's organizations, they need to have the right operating model, they need to have the right organizational structure and approach to execution if they want to be successful. MuleSoft Catalyst enables customers to adopt API-led connectivity with a set of packaged offerings. The next generation of MuleSoft Catalyst provides customers and partners with approaches and tools to deliver on their various projects while providing a future-proof architecture that supports long-term business objectives as well. Catalyst aims towards customer success by aligning technology initiatives to the business objectives using the three-pillar approach. and which are to define the business outcomes with clear KPIs and align stakeholders towards them. And the second one is to ensure and enable your organization to use and adopt Anypoint platform. And finally, we start building the APIs and integrations to connect these APIs using the Anypoint platform. And MuleSoft Catalyst offer three key components to achieve this. And these three components of MuleSoft Catalyst include Catalyst Knowledge Hub, Catalyst Mobilize, and Catalyst Accelerators. Catalyst Knowledge Hub is a new online portal where partners can access proven best practices, playbooks, and blueprints to deliver on business outcomes. And Catalyst Mobilize is a set of programs delivered by industry experts and customer success stories. It is a guided approach from planning API programs and establishing a foundation for a digital business to building a digital platform and measuring the value of integration and APIs. And the last one is the Catalyst Accelerators. And these are a set of pre-built API designs and implementation, integration templates, examples, and much more for the most common use cases across banking, retail, and healthcare industries. And Catalyst Knowledge Hub and Catalyst Accelerators are easily accessible and is free for us to access, from MuleSoft's Anypoint platform. Let's look further into each one of them. Catalyst Knowledge Hub for partners can be accessed through the URL catalyst.mulesoft.com, and we can access the website by just logging in using the Anypoint platform credentials. The Knowledge Hub consists of numerous playbooks like the Business Outcome Playbook that helps in aligning ourselves to the business objectives. And we have the Anypoint Platform Playbook and Projects Playbooks to guide us through the technology delivery. The C4E playbook, training and support playbooks, they assist us in organizational enablement and much more. Users can search for specific knowledge or cover wider topics using the portal. And the second component is Catalyst Mobilize. Here, business partners are guided by industry experts with the help of information and feedback from other MuleSoft partners and past experiences. They define custom methodologies for every organization to align their technical initiatives to the business objectives. And MuleSoft experts, they deliver a success plan to help the partners execute and maximize value by assessing the challenges and opportunities for business improvement through integration, and recommendations are provided as well to get to an optimal future state. The assessment is then turned into a roadmap that follows a four-step process: discovery, analysis, solution, and insights. This process typically takes about 2 to 5 weeks. And depending on the needs of your business, and also it's done in three phases: launch, scale, and optimize. So in the launch phase, in the Catalyst launch phase, the right foundation is established to drive immediate value from Anypoint platform through organizational enablement and project deployment. First, MuleSoft will conduct discovery sessions to assess the partner's integration capabilities and then align them to the business outcomes, and they build an initial success plan. And then a foundation platform architecture is established, and common services frameworks, integration patterns, and solution designs are designed by API-led approach. And MuleSoft will also help the partner define the organizational enablement model to train and enable the initial team. Next is the Catalyst scale phase. Innovation is scaled by incrementally building an enterprise-wide platform for consumable assets. These assets can be reused across the enterprise. Here, the business outcomes and KPIs are reviewed along with the platform, and project implementations and organizational enablement capabilities as well are reviewed by experts. Additionally, the experts work with the partners to implement platform related activities, and then they include redefining or refining the deployment model that was initially set up in the launch phase, and they enhance the common services framework. They build CI/CD frameworks for us, and also conduct performance tuning activities. Besides they help the partner organization deliver additional use cases based on API-led approach, and they also onboard additional projects. So we are simply scaling up our project using using the expertise of expertise and guidance from MuleSoft. They also build C4E assets for us and organize Anypoint Exchange to drive additional consumption and reuse. Finally, the partner organization's C4E operating model, success plans, business outcomes, and associated KPIs are refreshed. And the expert team also provides advanced training recommendations and updates the support runbooks. The impact and effectiveness of people, process, and technology are measured in the Catalyst optimize phase, and they are optimized to achieve targeted business outcomes. Experts here will review the business outcomes, how our Anypoint platform is set up, the project KPIs, how C4E is set up, and support and training KPIs are reviewed as well. Secondly, health checks are conducted on the Anypoint platform to validate the architecture and operations. As part of this, design and code reviews of APIs, integrations, and implementations are performed as well and validated if the MuleSoft suggested best practices are followed consistently. Integration capability assessment and skills assessments are conducted, and training and certification progresses are evaluated for the team as well. And support case trends are reviewed in detail, and recommendations are finally provided to optimize and increase maturity level across Anypoint platform, projects, C4E, and training and support as well. And that's with Catalyst Mobilize. And since the MuleSoft experts are in the picture guiding the organization, Catalyst Mobilize is offered is a service offered for a fee. And then we go back to Catalyst Accelerators, where a set of pre-built API designs and implementations, and they have integration templates, examples, and much more for the common use cases across banking, retail, and healthcare industries. And these accelerators covers most common use cases and include many assets like RAML definition templates and API policies. And because of this, the speed of delivery is improved, accelerating our progress towards digital transformation. Um, Today, I'll be focusing mainly on the banking industry. We'll briefly analyze a case study as well on open banking platform strategy and how a market leader in the financial services industry has adopted MuleSoft Catalyst accelerators to transform themselves into traditional banking to open banking as a service platform. And let's look at what Accelerator for banking has in store for us in doing this. The accelerator for banking includes pre-built APIs and a prescriptive architecture to help IT teams achieve digital transformation in the finance industry. The APIs and templates here jumpstart the development of common banking applications, and they provide a foundation for 3 times faster project delivery. The system layer consists of APIs that abstract away the complexity of core banking systems while providing a downstream installation for any interface changes or rationalization of those systems. The RAML definition and implementation templates of the customer and open bank system and notification APIs are included in the system layer as well. The process API decouples business processes that interact with and shape the data from source systems where the data originated. The APIs in the process layers are built per services provided by the banking institutions. And for the experience layer, we have the products offered by the organization. Experience APIs are how data can be reconfigured to be most easily consumed by its intended audience. And Experience API will channel the data from process API and the service provided in through process APIs to the right audience. And as we could notice, the assets in the system, process, and experience layers, the key components of Accelerator for banking include support for core business processes like account information, payment initiation, and legacy modernization. The accelerator also adapts to the industry's best practices, as the proposed architecture is carefully designed based on expert advice and data gathered from working with industry leaders. The proposed architecture in the previous slide, it promotes self-service and consumption of available assets in exchange through reuse. The pre-built API designs and implementation unlock the core business data organized by products via secure APIs. The data can be used across services to build an open banking as a service platform. And let's look at what we saw, in the architecture slide. Let's look at every one of those components in detail over here. So we'll understand the services provided to us by Accelerator for banking. With system APIs, there are 5 assets included in the accelerator for customers to use in the system layer. There is a customer system API, which includes a RAML definition that performs create, delete, search, and update operations on the contacts of a customer. And implementation template using Salesforce connector is also provided as an asset. And the second API is the Open Bank System API that's provided. Again, here we have a RAML definition and an implementation template along with Accelerator for banking. And this implementation template illustrates the retrieval of account and balance information using a database connector and an AS400 connector. The implementation template for sending emails and text messages to a mobile device are also illustrated using the Mule email connector and the Twilio connector in the notification system API. And just going back, I want to connect this to the architecture diagram there. So we can see here, we have Open Bank System API, Customer API that connects to Salesforce. And there is a notification API that uses MuleSoft's email connector and Twilio for SMS messages. And then we'll move to the next layer here, the process APIs, where we have accounts and payments information, as well as we have an identity provider here where authorization is done. So the process APIs consists of 5 more assets here, and these can be included in the process layer. The first one is the authorization server API, where authorization and authentication design are illustrated using RAML, as well as how it can be done in any point platform. And then we have the account process API that illustrates a scenario where API fetches account and transaction data from multiple systems. For example, this API can get the transaction of a user from all products he's enrolled for, like checking account, credit card account, and trading accounts, and much more. So he can get the transactions in one portal, like let's say one mobile app, and access all his accounts at once using the process API. And finally, the payment process API includes a simple implementation template to post payment into an account. And this is what is in store for us in process API. And finally, for the experience layer, 3 sets of RAML definitions and implementation templates are dedicated for this layer. The Anypoint Bank Experience API illustrates most of the use cases a customer might use in a day-to-day application, like signing up for the app or logging into the app. And he can also see all of his account information and get a list of transactions and so on. The Payment Initiation Service Provider API illustrates how to securely initiate a payment using the two-factor authentication protocol. The Account Information Service Provider API, it includes a RAML definition and an implementation templates to get balance, account, and transaction information by connecting to the process API that we already discussed. And MuleSoft also provides 2 playbooks as part of Accelerator for banking. And those are the playbooks for Payment Initiation Service Provider API and the Account Information Service Provider API. And we highly recommend you make better use of the playbooks when implementing these are called PISP and AISP APIs. So we highly recommend using those playbook when implementing these APIs. And finally, MuleSoft also provides some API policies for the governance of these APIs, security and governance of the APIs. And these can be very useful for a financial institution when governing the products and services within the organization. And as we've already seen, the regulatory requirements, when they change very often, it's important for it's important for these policies to be effectively used in our APIs to speed up delivery. And the first policy, which is the OAuth 2.0 JSON Web Encryption Access Token Enforcement, is a policy that enforces the use of signed and encrypted JSON web tokens within the authorization header of the API. Um, and AES 128-bit encryption and AES 256-bit encryption algorithms are supported along with RS-256, RS-384, and RS-512 signature algorithms. And the second one, resource-specific client enforcement. So this policy enforces it just allows us to secure the API with a client ID and client secret for specific resources in the API. And these resources are configured using a regular expression that has to be passed as a mandatory parameter. And the two-factor authentication policy combines OAuth 2 and OpenID Connect and JWT tokens signed with private and public keys. And use of these policies can be seen in the AISP and PISP experience API implementation templates that we saw in the previous slide over here. And now it's time for some trivia questions.
Thanks, Sunil. Yeah, now I'm loving the energy and the enthusiasm that we have happening in the chat. And I just wanted to reiterate again for the rules and regulations for our trivia questions. Number one, please ensure that you provide one answer in the chat after, so only after, we have stated the question and all of the options, and after Jimmy types "go now" in the chat box. So you want to look for that "go now." Once you see that, then you want to include your answer. And then, of course, the second rule as well is you can type ABCD in the chat section, so you don't have to type the entire answer. Okay? All right, so let's proceed to our next trivia question here. So question number 2, which of these encryption algorithms are supported as part of the OAuth 2.0 JWE access token enforcement policy? Is it A, AES and Blowfish, B, AES only, C, DES only, or D, AES and RCA? Remember, wait for the go now from Jimmy. All right, thank you. Okay, we can proceed. Thank you, everyone.
And we've discussed most of the technical approach towards digital banking, and we also discussed about MuleSoft suggested approach uh, towards making the technological improvement. So we've discussed both in there, but let's also have a look at a case study where one of the in our case study here, we'll consider an example of a global top tier bank. It is one of the 20 largest in the world by assets managed. And like many banks, it faced a growing delta between the expectations of customers, both retail and corporate, and the digital capabilities it was able to provide to them. So our bank decided to go digital with the help of MuleSoft Catalyst using the API-led connectivity approach. Let's look how the bank's decision was made, and let's look at it in detail. So here, the bank wanted to implement an open banking platform to modernize its customer engagement. First, the bank had to renovate its current structure built around siloed product delivery functions. And the next step is to evolve from the renovated structure, because just this merely digitizing these existing services does not adequately meet the customer expectations. And once evolved into a digital banking platform, the bank aimed at transcending the limitations of its disjointed customer experiences. So they decided to invest in building a digital banking platform with the APIs, and then turn it into a open banking as a service platform. And the outcome, the bank leveraged the digital platform to abstract data and functionality away from its backend systems as APIs, and then packaged these APIs into services that can be used across product lines and various channels consistently. Our bank here realized that it had a very complex ecosystem built across every product. For example, have a look at the image here. Uh, there was a separate process built for every channel individually, and the trade channel had its own process to onboard a customer, uh, initiate and instruct a transaction, to process the transaction, and then settle payment, and finally provide a service. So this was just for trade, and we can see that similar setups are here for wires, and then ACH, which is the electronic fund transfer system, and then we have foreign exchange transaction between bank to bank, and financial transactions between bank to bank. So they all followed the same processes, and these processes siloed across channels made it manually extensive and repetitive for customers, and this provided a very disjointed experience. The bank recognized that payment processes were similar regardless of the type of payment. As we can see, everything looks very similar. It's just different channels, trades, wires, ACH. And it also identified the commonalities across the data, the customer information, accounts information, and pricing information. And these data are the ones that powers the processes that we just described. So the bank decided to invest in the development of a digital platform to provide a connected experience to the customer. So the first step in action is to align the business objectives together, which is to digitize traditional financial services, to drive operational efficiencies, and also to improve the transactional experience of customers with specific products. To do so, the organization envisioned to attain technology delivery through the three-tiered API-led architecture, where its core downstream systems are decomposed into system APIs, as seen in the previous image. The services provided by the banks are decoupled, and it's very hard to orchestrate data and functionalities. So system APIs were used to abstract the data and orchestrate them and the functionalities to the next level. This abstracted the complexity away from business tech consumers. So the decoupled services are then provided to the customers, uh, and these decoupled services encapsulates the business logic. Also, the APIs help the banks to manage, govern, and monitor the customers of different products, thus enabling them to assess different products KPI and optimize across. So we can see how the three-tiered API-led architecture was initiated in their renovate phase. So they wanted to, uh, convert their systems into APIs, but it is still product-oriented. And as we can see here, our product, service, and downstream systems are simply re-engineered as APIs in this three-tier architecture. And the product consumed by the customers, like the mobile and the web application, customer service portal, and systems across systems in the branch offices, and even the external partners, as you see in the end, are connected through the experience gateway. Whereas the backend systems like the database, mainframe systems, third-party provider applications are all connected to the system layer. This also includes the CRM and ERP applications where most data are available. And now every channel can access the system using the system layer, but everything is still product centric. So for every product, they have this setup, and they are now trying to uh, have individual blocks for everything, uh, and then access the data without any interruption. And data flow was very easily going from shared systems to various mobile and cloud applications. But this one, it does not provide a connected experience yet. Now that we have APIs that connects to system and processes, we can easily modify the way they are connected within the architecture. We need to migrate away from that product centric mindset I was talking about, to a more unified and capability centric approach. The visibility and access to data and processes has to be enabled for all products and services across the organization. By moving to a more capability centric operating model, the organization can drive both horizontal as well as vertical integration. So, apart from the speed of integration and connected experiences, the organization can now improve automation in areas such as processing assessments and monitoring traffic to their systems and much more. The operational cost is also lowered in this case, and experience across channels are unified. For example, um, customer who has a checking account with the bank can open a trading account as well, and he doesn't have to start from scratch. And both these accounts can even be accessed from a single mobile application. So the APIs improve the speed of bringing the product to the market, as the entire architecture can be built and improved using the assets provided in the accelerator for banking. Let's look at a detailed architecture. So we saw an abstracted layer for experience, process, and system in our previous image. But here we are exposed to all those APIs that are created and connected in such a way, we achieve this digital banking platform. And if you look at the APIs in here, most of them, they can be constructed from ground level up. But the initial foundation can be through accelerator for banking. So the APIs provided in accelerator for banking, for example, we have APIs for pricing, bookings, and financial APIs, and then accounts and balance APIs. So we had system APIs to access these from uh, either a Salesforce system like a CRM system like Salesforce, or a mainframe system, similar to like AS400, or an IBM database or an Oracle database. And from those systems, we were able to build our system APIs, abstracting away uh, the data that is exposed in those systems. And these data can be shared now across multiple services that is offered in that has been offered in the process layer, and those services can be consumed by the products in the experience layer. We can have a look at the process layer, where we see initiating payment and then selecting optimal products and process transaction. So banking accelerator for banking had initial so has templates for how to start with these, and they have raml definitions to start with the development of these APIs. And we have a lot of playbooks available in the Catalyst Knowledge Hub, where we can go and understand the best practices that's been implemented in other banking organization which has been successful now after they completed their journey towards digital transformation. And again, with the experience layer, the online and mobile APIs, partner portal APIs are pretty much is what offered in any point banking experience API. Uh, so with Accelerator, this entire architecture can be built in like very short time compared to other traditional integration methods. And we discussed earlier, banks must not only digitize their old business processes, but they should transform their business model to better meet the needs of modern customers by building a marketplace of APIs, excuse me, that is internally and externally accessible. Uh, the, the bank that we're talking about has transformed itself into an open banking as a service platform. This platform is built around services to support the entire payment lifecycle and add value to their experiences through speed, convenience, and adaptability. And by open banking, what we mean is that our banks provide us with a certain set of products to consume when they digitize their banking platform. And now we still need our banks control, or we still need to go to our bank's mobile app or web portal to access our accounts and apply for credit cards and things like that. But not every one of us stick with just one bank. We have multiple accounts, so we might want to have a consolidated uh, a consolidated list of all our accounts so that we manage our finance better. And this platform should support that. So the entire life cycle from not just based on one bank, but of the services offered from a partner application, uh, everything has to be included in the life cycle, and this adds value to the experiences the customer might have. With this platform, services from all partners and applications are seamlessly integrated into an overall customer experience and consistently rendered on any channel. Any existing services can be reused and extended to a new channel as well using the marketplace. So uh, turning the digital bank into an open banking platform is very important in reaching the customers and uh, emerging out successfully from our competitors. And this current state you see here, current state diagram that you see here, is the final state in which the bank has now currently implemented their entire IT architecture for banking. So we see a segment for data over here in the bottom, which has customer information. It has the pricing configuration, trade instructions, and they have all data engulfed into a single component. And then we have banking as a service. It is still it is encapsulated in one more layer as a service, and access to these data are provided through front end, back end, and servicing. So onboarding, and then trade and credit services, pricing, these can be done in the front end. And then processing for various products like approval of loans and things like that, and then payment tracker, and then report generation, these can be done at the back end. As well as banks would be providing as a service for fraud monitoring, inquiries, compliance, and market reports as well. So this banking as a service has to be exposed and to other partners, and not only exposed to other partners. This banking as a service should have the core capabilities of banking, like just we saw before. So the banking as a service, when used by all channels, it is used as a shared service, and all channels that we saw before, like wire transfers, electronic fund transfers, and then core banking, everyone can make use of a single process. For every product can make use of a single process to onboard customers, initiate price, and process transaction, and then settle payment and do the servicing as well, like monitoring and inquiries and compliance services can also be done by accessing just the platform that is offered by the bank as a service. And it's not only consumed by the banks, it's also consumed by the partners, so they can list their applications with a set of bank accounts that you own after, well, obviously after a proper authentication and authorization procedures. And MuleSoft has policies to enable those authorization and authentication services. But you have a consolidated banking experience, very convenient and connected as well. And in building this open banking platform, MuleSoft has an approach. So this approach this approach is built based on the uh, experiences that was provided helping organizations like the one we discussed above. And they recommend this four-step strategy for effectively building an open banking platform. The first step is to establish the digital strategy. Building APIs is not the first step towards establishing a successful digital banking platform. We did see that before. In fact, what some have found is that by rushing straight into development instead of first aligning our overall digital strategy, API platform that IT builds does not end up driving the intended business outcome. Instead, MuleSoft recommends that organizations first start by establishing their establishing their overarching digital strategy. They must align on what business challenge the API platform ought to be designed to solve. Improving customer engagement by delivering a consistent experience across all mediums, for example, will call for a different type of enabling digital platform. That if your goal was to rapidly launch new products and build new revenue channels, uh, it this digital platform would enable us to launch those products and build new revenue channels. After aligning on the business challenge, organizations must align on how their digital strategy will support that challenge. You can do this by bringing together both IT and business to work through the experience design to identify the right capabilities, process, and data to support the digital strategy or experience. And second is to align your organization and culture. For many, APIs represents a paradigm shift in how business meets its objectives and how IT delivers their projects. Ultimately, the people in our organization are responsible for driving this shift, and they play a much more significant role in success or failure than the technology implementation considerations itself. Most companies inevitably face a hurdle to transform an existing business into one where digital platform and ecosystem, thinking that dominant mindsets are leading to participation in the API economy. This culture and behavioral changes is most challenging, and but it is an impactful dimension for the transformation after all. For the step three, after we align our organization and culture by enabling our C4E models and training models, we evaluate and build the supporting technologies. So step three is when you can begin designing your API architecture and building the supporting APIs. To enable the effective implementation of a API platform, MuleSoft recommends designing according to the architectural principles of API-led connectivity. This design model allows for IT to more rapidly develop APIs for ecosystem partners to consume by enabling reuse across a set of internal APIs. So we build internal APIs and we ask for the external partners to consume these APIs, and developers can use it to unlock standardized access to core systems. And once this architecture is defined, the next step is to build a full lifecycle API platform that enables the development and management of the APIs. And once the supporting tech is built, once the architecture is designed and APIs are developed, the final step is to engage your ecosystem. In open banking platform, it is very important for partners outside of the banking, outside of the institution or organization, to come and engage into our ecosystems. The APIs that we built in step 3 has to be consumed by these organizations and partners. Marketing these APIs and developing that ecosystem uh, will consume time, so it's not easy, so it has to be addressed properly. And we also should ensure that the intended business objectives are met. If let's say our APIs are new products, companies should also consider those products as something that their consumers can use. For example, a bank implements an API platform for improving customer engagement, should think about how they can formalize training and certification to enable the regional brands and their respective IT teams to consume these APIs. So when your partners think in their consumer oriented approach, and if they are trained and certified to think that using these APIs will attract more consumers, they tend to adapt to the ecosystem much better. And once the adoption starts to pick up, they should implement programs designed to gather feedback on these APIs, so that they can reiterate on what has been built and improve the partner engagement and satisfaction. And MuleSoft's Anypoint platform was purpose built to enable the development of an application network through API-led connectivity. And making use of this platform will support the organizations through the full API life cycle, as well as in their journey towards becoming open banking digital platform. And now it's the time for our final trivia.
Okay, great. Thank you, Sunil. So for those who just joined the session recently, we do have some rules to follow for our trivia question. So the first rule is to please ensure that you're providing one answer in the chat after we have stated the question and all of the options, and after Jimmy types "go now" in the chat box. The second rule is that you can type ABCD in the chat section to provide your answer. Okay, so let's take a look at the final trivia question here. This is your final chance to get the free course. So let's see what the question is. All right, so trivia question number 3. In open banking, banks can give non-bank drivers access to customer payment accounts, so a customer can access their accounts on a mobile app that is not controlled by their institution. Is this true or false? A for true, B for false. Okay, perfect. All right, we can move on. Thank you, everyone.
So we've come towards the end of our presentation, and to sum up, we've seen numerous clients of MuleSoft in the finance industry has proven that digital banking platform can produce both IT results such as faster delivery, lower costs, and future-proof IT assets, as well as business results like secure design and increased agility and visibility, and a business autonomy in built-in governance capabilities. Anypoint exchange consists of a number of accelerator assets in form of pre-built API interfaces, templates, and examples. And this can speed up delivery and ease the digital transformation. The use of APIs in banking simplifies the implementation of most complex business functionalities. Thus, it leaves way for more innovation and governance opportunities as well. And with MuleSoft Catalyst, I believe the partners in financial industries can implement organizational and operational best practices with guidance from experts on setting up the C4E training and support model, as well as assisting in scaling and optimizing their IT infrastructure in the organization. And I hope this session was informative and was a guidance. It helped you discover the accelerators provided for the banking platform, which is going to speed up the project delivery as well. And thank you, everyone. Once again, I thank everyone for the time here, and I pass it on to Andrew. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Sunil. So Sunil is one of our outstanding integration developers at Incepta Solutions. And so just some quick mini bite-sized information about Incepta. Yep, no problem. We can go to the slide. So first of all, Incepta is a proud partner of MuleSoft for a number of years now. Here's a quick fun fact. We were the first few partners in Canada during the early stage of MuleSoft's growth. We are a trusted IT partner for digital innovation with a strong global presence. And most recently, we are humbled to be named on the Growth 2020 list as we have been recognized as one of Canada's fastest growing companies. Really quickly, 3 points on our mission and our areas of expertise and our solutions. So our mission is to provide business solutions to not only solve challenges, but to accelerate growth and customer success. The following is our area of expertise scope. So digital transformation, integration, data management, customer 360, cloud strategy, and cybersecurity. And last but not least, our solution is that we provide cutting edge integration and automation solutions with the latest technology that empowers businesses with digital innovation. Now, we're also very active on social media. So, as we proceed to the next slide, our social media channels can be seen as follows. So, on LinkedIn, we are Incepta Solutions. On Twitter, we're Incepta S. On Facebook, we are Incepta Solutions. And on Instagram, we are Incepta Solutions. Okay, now I would like to pass it back on to Jimmy to discuss the event survey and our Q&A.
All right, thank you, Andrew. I'd like to thank Sunil for the great presentation. Tons of useful information. I highly recommend the audience here, if you are a developer or an architect from within the banking industry, to look up the Accelerator for Banking on MuleSoft Exchange. Try to download it and start leveraging some of the RAML definitions and the implementation templates that is already created for you. So thank you, Sunil, for that. I guess we only have one question, but let me first take a moment to introduce the Meetup survey. So we really need to get your feedback about the overall experience with the Meetup. Also, if you have any ideas for topics to be covered, you'd like to see us covering in the future Meetups as well. The survey is very simple. It's just 3 questions. So I appreciate if you can take a moment to fill it out while we are going through. I guess we only have 1 question, so I'll paste that link into the chat here now. Right, it's in there, so please take a moment to fill it out. I guess also we only receive 1 question, so please feel free to post your questions in here. This is the last chance you can get Sunil to address this your concerns or questions. Sunil, the question we had from Ramesh. What is the difference between C4E and Catalyst?
So the difference between C4E and Catalyst is that C4E is a group that drives the operating model shift. So they want to enable consumption of assets more and more, and they build they take care of our anypoint exchange in promoting the assets that was previously built, and they want to reuse the assets. They ensure that we reuse the assets and not create new ones for already built ones. Whereas Catalyst does not offer just that. It provides much wider insight. So with Catalyst, we have yes, we have pre-built assets. With Catalyst, they have built, MuleSoft has built the assets for us to consume, and then they also have the knowledge hub where we can learn about everything, including C4E. So there is a playbook of how the Center for Enablement has to be set up in the organization, and various other playbooks to guide us through Anypoint platform architecture setup and to how to deliver projects efficiently. Everything is in there in Catalyst. I would highly recommend consulting Catalyst Knowledge Hub for any kind of not just banking, but any kind of project delivery. I hope I answered this question right. Jimmy, back to you.
Thank you for that question as well, Ramesh.
I was speaking on mute.
No worries,
Thank
Jimmy.
you. Thank you, Sunil. Thank you, Ramesh. Any other questions from the group? Again, please take a moment to click on the link, answer 3 quick questions. There is also a checkbox in the form. If you would like to participate as a speaker in future events, we highly welcome that. So please tick up the box and make sure you have we have your email for future meetups as well. I guess if we don't have any further questions, we can jump into announcing the winners. I'd like just to give it a minute. If there is any question in there, please post it in the chat. All right, let's move on, Sunil. Let's see who's the winner for the first question. All right, can you read the question and the right answer, Sunil, please?
Yes. So the first question was, as reported by SunTrust, one of MuleSoft's partners, how often do regulatory changes happen on average within the financial service industries? And the right answer is once in 12 minutes. Yes, that is a very short time. But in one of the articles that is publicly available in MuleSoft, we can see that API governance played a very, very important role in regulation, and SunTrust, who's MuleSoft one of the partners in US, who started as a small bank, is now one of the major players in US, and they reported that regulatory requirements change every 12 minutes. So,
Perfect.
So that's the answer here.
Yes, and the winner for the first question is Satyam Patel. I hope I'm pronouncing the name correct. So congratulations, Satyam.
Congrats, Satyam.
Congratulations, Satyam.
Right, let's move to the next one.
And the second trivia question is, which of these encryption algorithms are supported as part of the OAuth 2.0 JSON Web Encryption Access Token Enforcement Policy? And the answer is AES. When I talked about the policy, I did specify 2 encryption algorithms, but unfortunately, both of them are AES. So one is AES 128-bit algorithm and encryption, and the other is AES 256-bit encryption. So this policy provided by Accelerator for banking supports both these algorithms for encryption and 3 other algorithms for signature as well. So that's the answer. Answer is B for this question.
Oh, yeah. So who's the winner here? Andrew, can you help me with that? So I guess we have, there was a question, Sunil, regarding the Catalyst services offering. Let me, okay, I'll announce the winner for the second question in a bit. Can we move ahead to the last one? Let me pause on that question. Can we move to the next one?
Sure, yeah. And the third question is, in open banking, this is a statement with a true or false answer. So we want to check if the statement is true or false. And in open banking, banks can give non-bank drivers access to customer payment accounts. So a customer can access their accounts on a mobile app, not controlled by the banking institution. So the answer for this question is true. And open banking revolves around this concept of non-bank drivers getting access through proper authentication and authorization from the banks, so that they can have they can create a mobile app that shows 2 different bank accounts from 2 different banking institutions. So the answer is true. So
Yeah.
Yes, this statement is correct.
Perfect. And the winner for this question is Jyoti Patel. Congratulations.
Congrats, Jyoti.
Congratulations.
So, all right. So for the trivia question 2, I'm sorry, I was a bit late in announcing the winner. So the winner is Rick Bolt. Congratulations, Rick.
Congrats, Rick.
Congratulations, Rick. And thank you, everyone, for your participation in the question answer session, as well as the trivia session, and for your valuable time. It has been a long session, and thank you, everyone, for your patience.
Yes, thank you, everyone, for attending. We hope to see you in the next meetup. So for the winners, I'll communicate your contact information to our meetup admins, and they will contact you to choose your course of your choice. So again, thank you, everyone. We hope to see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.
And thank you again, Jimmy, for the opportunity.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Sunil.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Andrew.